Welcome to Melting Dialectic. This episode will be about the role of dating, the role of culture in dating. So I actually wanted to just have this conversation because I've had the same conversation with Aman before. I also have a little bit of experience with dating with people from other backgrounds and stuff like that. And I just wanted to know what people's thoughts are on dating outside of their own culture. But the reason why I brought up this topic, like I kind of said a little bit, I'm Zimbabwean. It's very few of us that are out here. So there's a very high probability that the person that I end up marrying will be somebody outside of my culture. And I was curious because I've had conversations and I won't go too deep, but I've had experiences with people from other cultures. And I just wanted to check the temperature with everybody on their thoughts about dating people who are outside of their own culture. I guess the first question that I kind of want to bring up is that would you even consider dating somebody who's outside of your culture?
How are we gonna, personally, I would. That's actually what I look for. But I have also very unique experiences that make me want to do that, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
It might not be the same for everyone.
No, I understand. I think it may be women who are more so in that who feel that way. But let's see the rest of the panel, I guess. Who would like to go next? Feel free to speak naturally. You don't have me pick on
I
you.
would be interested in what Keith has to say.
I think I should go last for that very reason, because I know why you're interested.
I think the ladies
No, I'm not
should go
trying to-
first, and then we'll.
Oh, okay. Amanda, you go ahead. Or you're not speaking, you're moderate. Okay.
Yeah, I would. I've done it.
I mean, yeah, I would too. However, there's a difference because culture, like how deep into culture are we talking? Because there's Africans and then there's different Africans within the Africans, and then there's outside of African, which is like Asian, Hispanic,
So personally, really, I don't care where the person is from. I'll say this though, the number one thing that I would really prefer to have is somebody within my race. My number one thing would hopefully be somebody Black. Now, if that's not an option, I don't mind.
But there's Black Hispanic. There's Black.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. As long as I mesh with you, you could be Black and Chinese, or you can even be just a regular old Chinese dude. I don't really care because I feel well, anyway, I guess I shouldn't say too much because we're going to get into that.
But I actually want to know, why is that your preference? Why is it that you want someone
Black?
Yeah.
So I think
the race.
Partially for the race thing is because I feel like the Black struggle is pretty worldwide, right? If you go to Africa, they understand the Black struggle. If you're here, they understand the Black struggle. If you're Black and in another continent, Asia, Europe, wherever, you understand the Black struggle. So I think just on a basic level, that part is crucial. Now for everything else, but then again, like I said, I don't care. I could date a Korean man today. I could date a Chinese man tomorrow, Japanese. I don't care. As long as we mesh and we respect each other, that's pretty much it for me. I don't care.
But I guess to play devil's advocate, because I was saying that I personally want to date out of my culture because I grew up all around the world. So it's to me, that's comfortable. I like learning about other cultures, but some people would also say, like you said, you know, they understand just like from a point of like, oh, they understand more. So it's like, this is why I want to just stick to what I know, you know? So it's like, it depends on people's comfort level. So it's like,
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody agrees or
Yeah,
not, but
so I agree.
why did you want to go
Well,
last?
well, full disclosure, I was actually married to someone outside my culture. That's what Karen was alluding to. She was from Bangladesh. Um, so for me, I hear what like Amanda say. For me, I'm one of those people where I'm attracted to who the person is. For me, skin color is like whatever, whether they're black, whether they're Asian, Hispanic, if they can fit into my life and we mesh together, I don't care. If they don't understand the black struggle, to me, that's just one more person who I can, that's just another part that makes what we have, our dynamic, more unique. You know what I mean? Like that's the more people have this thing where they want to keep things kind of in within the culture. And to me, when you introduce Asian people as dating, maybe Jennifer, you date an Asian person, a white person. To me, especially if they truly love you, which I would assume you would get somebody who has that mentality. The more people invested in, I know people obsessed with keeping their culture. The more races invested in that culture, the stronger and more alive it stays, in my personal opinion. Secondly, I go through life, I understand going through life as a black man, the things that come with. My mother made sure that I understood that at a young age. But as far as like seeing things through the black struggle or kind of keeping that in mind when I'm dating somebody, listen, I really don't care. I don't sit here and I'm not a victim. I don't really buy into the black struggle that happened. I'm a black man. Me being black sometimes makes things a little bit tough. Hey, that's life. I've been able to achieve great things. I've been able to accumulate a lot of great things in spite of me being black or whatever struggle I've had. Everybody has a struggle. Women have a struggle that men don't face. Men have a struggle women don't face. Black people get advantages that some white people have to deal with, or Asian people, people of different races. It's all this, like, I don't really get caught in that. So if you from a world where the black struggle is foreign to you, cool, fine. That means I like to live life as a man, as a competent person who competes, who happens to be black. I don't really get caught into the struggle. And I may indeed face obstacles because I'm black, but I don't get caught in, oh, I gotta deal with this because I'm black. I just do it. Just do
But
it.
don't you think like there could be some tension because there's certain things that are not understood about you? Because I'm speaking from like not my experience, but like from other experience. Because like I have family
Yeah,
members
absolutely.
dated outside of their race, and it's like from the person that I've spoken to, they said that they just didn't feel heard in the relationship. They felt like, sometimes there were issues, but like the other party didn't understand. So it was
Mhm.
kind of tough. So
I
don't you
could
think?
no, I'm gonna tell you why. That happens if I date any one of you and y'all black. That happens. What people do is they focus on, oh, we're dealing with this miscommunication that happens to be maybe because she comes from a culture outside of mine. People within culture have that. They don't feel heard. Go ask women, go ask white couples, or go ask black couples. Do you feel unheard by your partner? I guarantee you, you'll hear yes. People feel unheard from people living in their own house. So it's not really about, oh, because she outside this culture. I don't care. When you hear people, it's about hearing what they go through and just kind of explaining. And if you're with a person who's understanding, that won't get in the way. If you're with a person who's ignorant, which again, you could get that outside the race or within your race, then it breaks down no matter what. It's just we just get caught up in whatever the disagreement is, but we always face that. People always face not feeling heard, not feeling seen, or whatever the case. Even when they date people, like I said, who grew up right beside them.
But what about the relatability factor, because you might be able to hear me, but can you relate to me being a Caucasian man? Will you understand when I'm like frustrated and crying about somebody getting shot? You might be like, oh, I hear you, I'm supporting, but that relatability factor, you don't get that.
I don't think any human being who's compassionate won't relate to
Yeah,
somebody
you could
being
be
shot dead.
passionate, but like if you didn't grow up seeing Black
No, but see,
men
my problem,
in your
but here's my
family, you didn't
problem.
grow up with like Black
You don't need to,
cousins.
Karen, I don't need somebody to sit there and be like, oh, I understand. I don't sit there. Death is death. You get what I'm saying? Like somebody who doesn't understand that. You don't have to grow up seeing a Black person get
I mean,
shot to
it doesn't
feel
have to necessarily
empathetic.
be death though. It could be any experience. Like, for example, if I'm dating a white man and we go into a store, I get followed in the store.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. I'm really frustrated, and to him, it's just like, it could. To him, he doesn't really see that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happens very frequently to me. So he doesn't have those
Like
same
in his life.
experiences, and it's like,
That's one
Yeah.
aspect where he doesn't
But
see.
let me ask you this,
If I'm dating, huh?
let me
What
ask
you
you
gonna
this.
say?
When we talk about when Karen said, for example, like when if a Black person is shot or killed, and let's say you're dating a Caucasian woman, all right, and
Yeah.
she wouldn't feel the attachment to that person as much as you would because you're Black.
Okay. Time out.
And
Can I say something?
yeah, go ahead.
Can I say something to that? And I'm only cutting you off because I think this is gonna kill it for you. And y'all might not like me say this. Okay. So first of all, I don't think you have to feel the same attachment. Like for instance, let's take within us, we're Black, right? But something happens in Zimbabwe. Somebody, people get killed in Zimbabwe. I'm not from there, but I can be that like, damn, that's fucked up. Amanda, do I need to be from Zimbabwe for you? Do I really need to be from Zimbabwe to really be like, damn, it really hit me? Or does it just need to be like, damn, that is terrible? Because that's my thing that I face from people I have. You understand? I'm like, damn, this, and everybody, every partner, every person from outside the race, they understand it. Yes, they didn't grow up in it, and some of them even recognize, yo, I didn't grow up in it. I don't need you to feel exactly what I feel. You understand that somebody just died, or you understand that this is something that people go through. Now, if you're dealing with somebody who's insensitive, okay, you're dealing with somebody who's insensitive, but that doesn't automatically come in just because you're dating somebody with outside your race. And secondly, the other thing I was going to say is, to be honest, as long as you're not like a cold person, you're not, oh, so what? I really don't care if you feel how I feel when I see somebody get shot. That's me. That's on me. I don't need that from my partner.
I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't.
I think I agree with you. Like, it definitely depends on the person, but you also have to realize if you're talking about like dating and getting married, having children, this person's also raising your children.
Sure.
They have to be able to also understand, because they're going to be, if you're dating a white woman and she has children, they're going to be Black. So she has to be able to have some sort of understanding of the Black experience to be able to, like, one.
No, she doesn't. She needs to be able to move aside so I can give my kids and let them know, and she needs to be able to support me telling my kids about the Black experience. She needs to be sympathetic towards it. Being sympathetic, see, y'all are prescribed. See, I feel like people prescribe other races, they just can't understand what we go through. Nobody, I can't understand what Amanda goes through. Amanda's Amanda. I'm me. Like nobody can truly understand, but what I can do is say like, hey, what you go through is what you go through. If there's something I disagree with, let's come to the table, let's be reasonable and talk about it. If there is something I disagree with. That stuff y'all talking about people who are just insensitive. Dating somebody outside the race doesn't necessarily come with that insensitivity.
But I feel like there's like certain moral things that we could say, argue and say as people we should understand. But there are certain cultural things, like for us, like African people, our parents like most likely move in with us when they get older. For other cultures, they don't. So it's like, oh, well, like if I'm married to a white guy, he's like, no, your parents are going to go to assisted living when they get older. That's it, because that's their culture. And in our culture, it's like, no, we have to take care of them when they get older.
Well,
so there's
here's the thing.
that.
Right. But here's the thing. Again, we're talking about if that's something that doesn't mesh with what you do, with how you live, cool. What I'm saying is how I operate and how a lot of people, American people operate, dating somebody outside the culture, the stuff y'all talking to is not an issue. Because y'all talking about somebody being insensitive. Again, somebody doesn't need to know, like, feel everything. Nobody's going to
I
feel
mean,
everything you feel.
but also you have
Like,
to
they're not.
realize that your partner also affects, it's not just your relationship, there's also your relationship with family. And all, like, back to Karen's point, and like I think you're going based off of like, well, it depends on the person. Like the person just has to not be insensitive.
No. Family, again, is based on like how your family operates. So here's the thing I can tell you, and this is why a lot of people are able to date interracially. It depends on if you buy into, like, I need somebody to understand, needing somebody to understand the Black experience and having somebody feel what you feel when something happens are two different things. And people try to make them one thing and they're not. They're two different things. Everybody who's interracially, all the stuff y'all saying, that's cool. That's stuff that's not a hindrance to us growing as a couple. That's not a hindrance. It's not. My wife, like, she doesn't know, and she didn't know anything about Black people. Karen and Amanda could attest to you. I don't think either one of y'all, I could take it personal. I don't think either one of y'all would consider her insensitive to Black people's plights, would you?
Your case is also, sorry.
And she grew up on the other side of the world. So,
but your case is also very unique and specific too. But like, from what I've heard, like my brother dated a white woman. Her friends would say things around him that didn't make him feel quite comfortable. And when he approached her, it was kind of just like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of tension or a lot of extra pressure in learning the other race and also dealing with certain things when it comes to your friends and family and all that stuff. Like, it's a lot of pressure on someone. That's why I feel like most people would be just comfortable sticking to what they know and what.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But going back to my earlier point, I get uncomfortable with things, again, with Black women I've dated. And I've gone to them and they've given me the same thing. And in fact, it's even worse because they expect me to understand because I'm Black and I'm in their culture. So they expect me to understand and not be as offended as opposed to somebody who's outside the culture. So again, everything y'all saying that the problems I have, I could have that with someone within my culture. The difference is we're prescribing it is to be something different because it's Black and white and it's not Black on Black. Once again, people within the same race have the same exact issues. It's just the actual issue itself is different. It's the same thing, the same misunderstanding, same differences of culture. Again, even people, like I said, people next.
So Keith, I completely agree with you. But like you said, it's worse when it's better when it's actually within your culture or within your
color. It's not better.
Or, you know what? I think
I'm not saying that. You saying that's cool.
I'm saying that. Okay. But I'm just trying to tell you, it's way different when it's another culture, when it's another, especially, for example, let's say that person is Caucasian. But just to ask you, have you ever been in a situation where actually this kind of situation happened? Are you coming up from that? Because I've been in a situation where I've dated a person within my culture, within my country, but still that issue had happened, like a war broke out with two different ethnicities. And the issue came up within the same country is what I'm telling you. So unless you're actually in that position, it's not something you can, saying it's easier because I used to think the same thing too. But when you're actually in the position is when things happen.
Well, I have been in that position where like, well, it's not like a country war, but families are at war. I've been in that position. I've been on both sides. I've been on sides where people I've dated outside the culture, someone may say something that may be insensitive, and I'm just kind of, you know, but again, the partner I chose, like, went to my partner, they were like, well, I didn't really see it that way, but we had that conversation. And then, you know, and it may not, and then, you know, may not get resolved. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm one of those people, if me and the person mesh, if our families get along, which is most